Hey, I'm Charles Onyet. I'm here with Anthony Gallegos
Hello.
from IGN, and we are checking out the 1.0.4 patch changes for Diablo 3, which are significant.
It's crazy.
This is by far the biggest change Blizzard has made to the game since launch. It addresses a lot of issues, mostly that have to do with Inferno difficulty, basically end game play. All of the classes in the game have received a huge number of changes. Just from looking at the patch notes, it seems like the Witch Doctor in particular has been modified significantly. I'm obviously playing a Barbarian here, so I haven't had a chance to try out those sets, but the Barbarian has received changes too. And it seems like Blizzard's philosophy with the class changes is to basically make skills that weren't really useful in Inferno useful again without nerfing what already existed and that players thought were cool. So what I have active on my Barbarian right now is a set of skills that I would never otherwise use in Inferno. It would just be asking to get killed constantly.
But they've made them cool enough now.
Yeah, but they've increased them to a degree where they do seem to be useful. And I'm only in Act 1 right now, so bear with me on most of this stuff since I don't have all that much experience with this skill build. This is not what I was using most of the time. Normally I would be very defensive-minded. I currently have a lot more, I guess, offense on here, because one thing I did not use before as a Barbarian, I didn't use any Fury spenders, really. Anything here, because the Barbarian, as you fight, you build Fury, and then you can spend that using specific skills. And so that's this category, basically. And essentially all of these have been buffed in this patch. Everything here got percentage bonuses. So I have Rend on right now. It causes a big percentage now of bleed damage, where
700%, that's ridiculous.
It didn't used to before cause quite that much damage. Same thing with Hammer of the Ancients, which I have on right now. This has received a big percentage bonus. And do I have this ruined right now?
So I guess
yeah. So to smash a smaller area for 406 weapon damage, that's my ruined. So that's a huge percentage bonus. So Blizzard's basically just trying to make those Fury spenders useful by making them yeah, kill enemies a lot faster. Oh my God, is my inventory full?
I mean, you could have previously also continued to play with your. I mean, now you could continue to play with the build that you had, but the whole point of this was to increase build diversity. They didn't want people just only using Fury builders and never using spenders. They wanted people to feel like they could use the spenders and be viable.
Yeah, and so that was the original idea behind the game too, right? I mean, before the game came out, that was kind of Blizzard's justification for saying, you know, you can just switch your skills around whenever you want, because all of the skills are going to be useful, so you can be creative and come up with a different build, bunch of different builds. And while that was true, and I actually need to go back to town here because my inventory is full, but while that was true for the lower difficulty settings, once you did hit that cap, it became clear that there were really only a few skills that you could use. I'm just going to sell all this off.
The interesting thing too is that you know, talking about caps while you're selling these things is that now they've added the whole Paragon system to the game with 1.0 or 104, and now you'll actually see that blue bar right above Charles's skill bar, that he's actually making progress into a new level. Now granted, Charles is never going to become 61 or anything like that, or at least not until there's an expansion or something, but there are now 100 new Paragon levels that will give Charles buffs to his core stats, as well as 3% magic find and 3% gold find per level.
Yeah, so it does in the core stats respect. It works kind of like a standard level up. It's just I'm not gaining new abilities or anything. I am gaining magic find and gold find, which eventually, after I've gained 100 levels, will give me plus 300% magic find and gold find, and it is capped at that. So basically when you hit the Paragon level cap, you will have 300% for both of them, and in that case you don't have to worry about equipping magic find gear. So you don't have to be worried about
gear swapping.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about, oh well, you know, I'm going to keep multiple sets of gear around just so I can try and find better stuff. You're kind of relieved of that responsibility. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
The only way to extend it beyond 300% still is the Nephilim Valor bonus, which you get in Inferno mode for killing the champion packs. And that now has actually been buffed too, so now it gives a 15% experience bonus on top of the Magic Find bonus.
Yeah, so you're back to XP gain, so all that kind of area of progression of the game is definitely back in effect even after hitting level 60, which I think is a good thing. And the other thing Blizzard has done in terms of making Inferno play more interesting is completely changed around the legendary items, because if you were playing the game previously, you probably understood that legendary items were really not that exciting. They weren't, they were kind of better in some respects than some items, but they didn't feel dramatically different. In a lot of cases, you just threw them away because, you would find like a blue item that had a better percentage bonus on a weapon, and because, all damage in the game is basically tied to weapon damage, you'd just be like, oh, well, I'm going to take that blue item because I'm going to do more DPS in that case. So Blizzard added more special effect procs onto the legendaries so that not only are their stats generally better from what it sounds like, I haven't found one yet, so I can't say
well,
for sure.
Well, the ones they showed in the blog, the stats were dramatically improved between the old patch and this one. So
yeah, you do have the better stats, and you do have special abilities like, a sword may summon a monster, chance on hit, that will then give you a fire chains effect, or you may be able to trail fire all over the battlefield where you walk. So you get special effects on your character that are specifically coming from the item, which could make, once you combine a bunch of those things, could make for some very, could make you feel a lot more powerful, I would think.
Yeah, that's the goal. They internally, when they were first developing them outside of the auction house and stuff, when I talked to Jay Wilson, he said that he's one of the designers.
He's the game director.
The game director. So he was talking about that internally they thought legendary items felt really good before there was an auction house stuff, but items propagated so fast in the auction house that they really did need to buff them, and they're hoping that this is going to be substantial enough that people are going to really feel like now these are truly precious items. Unfortunately, it doesn't affect items that you got that were legendary before the patch. So Charles still has his gloves, which unfortunately aren't as cool as they would have been if he found them now.
My Ninja Turtle gloves, that I haven't tried to dye them yet. I couldn't do that before. I don't know if that's possible now. But yeah, these remain as they were, so not much I can do about that. Honestly, in all my time played, I have about 120 hours on my Barbarian. I've found 3 legendaries and a couple of blacksmithing.
Yeah, although I imagine
really haven't found that many.
There are some people though that farm really hardcore and do a lot of gear swapping and stuff. That for them, it's probably much more of a substantial change.
Yeah, and let's. I don't want to give the wrong impression. Diablo 3 endgame is about farming. it's item farming. That's what you do. That's the whole reason to keep playing. That's the draw of the game. Is just finding new items and powering your character up. But I like the solution Blizzard has come up with. You can see my experience bar here, and it just basically works. It seems to be a similar rate to leveling when that was still active. So it doesn't happen quickly. You're going to be trying to get to Paragon level 100 for quite some time. It's another big progression sink.
Correct. Yeah, for longtime players, the blog post on Blizzard's official website likened it to getting a level 99 character in Diablo 2. Yeah. So it's going to take a long time.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I stopped playing was because I was having sessions that were like 3-4 hours, and I would come out of them and I wouldn't have really done anything. I would have played for that amount of time and been like, I have absolutely nothing to show for this, because I wasn't finding items that were any of use to me, which I wasn't necessarily expecting to do, but I also wasn't really making any money because the repair costs on armor were so high that I was actually, losing money or essentially breaking even after I would play for hours and hours. And, I didn't consider myself terrible at Diablo, but I expected something to happen. I was just like, well, this isn't really worth it anymore. This isn't really worth my time. But now with the stat bonuses as you level, with the Magic Find and Gold Find and everything like that, and something to work towards here that will, benefit your character quite a bit eventually with extended play, it does feel like you actually do have more of a sense of progress while playing. And I've noticed the changes to the Barbarian skills from using these skills. I was actually playing in Act 2 a bit with some of the new skills active. Again, a build I never ever would have used before, and it was viable. I don't have the greatest gear in the game, but I was killing things. I was making progress even in Act 2.
I know that one of the things, just to go back to that sense of progression and reward that they've done is with this patch, they really want to make it that you feel rewarded for the difficulty of the creatures that you're fighting against. So they've buffed a lot of the magic type of items that you'll get even off of normal monsters.
Whoops.
Compared to how they used to be. Oh well.
I just got killed.
Well, it's just
really paying attention.
They've done some things with the difficulty. Obviously, they haven't made it too easy.
Yeah. Well, it is still challenging. It's definitely not as challenging, and yeah, I mean, you do get a higher chance of getting cool magic items off of regular monsters as well. And I mean, they've made changes to champion packs so that champion packs don't deal quite as much damage. That's been lessened to a degree, so it's not quite as unforgiving. And I keep thinking that's on the wrong
again. When I was talking to those guys, the people from Blizzard yesterday that made Diablo 3, they said that there's a very vocal group that really wants items to the game to be much more harder than it is, but the vast majority of people that they've worked with and stuff want the game to be easier, if anything. So they're tending to lean that way, but they do want to figure out some solution in the future to make the game a much more, even harder core version for people that want a more difficult experience.
Yeah, and for players who were maybe hoping that they would raise the level cap or add new skills or things like that, it's very clear Blizzard is, they're still trying to work out how the rest of the skills work. There was a massive rebalancing of skills in this patch, as we've said, so I wouldn't necessarily expect any new kinds of skills, but like I've been saying, I would never have used Bash before. I would have Frenzy on at all times, and Bash seems to be doing all right now. And yeah, Ancient Spear, never would have used. I mean, it's a cool skill. It looks awesome. It has a cool function. I would never have used Ancient Spear before. I
mean, the nature of being people like we are, and like many people watching this are, being super into video games, is it's hard to stay on one game for long periods of time. But I will say that this patch is actually the first thing that's made me genuinely excited to think about playing Diablo again. It seems like it's not a total revamp, but in a lot of ways it's done enough to it that it's kind of exciting again to play Diablo. I mean, even watching you play right now, I'm seeing you use all these different abilities, and the fact that you're getting experience again just makes it really exciting.
Yeah, so I mean, I know Diablo gets a lot of hate on the internet now. Anytime it's brought up anywhere, there's an instant outpouring of, oh my god, worst game ever made, etc., etc., from people who have, some people who maybe just tried the game and it wasn't for them, and for some people who have put in, over 100 hours and then just gotten completely turned off by the end game. I mean, I feel like this patch may start to sway some of those opinions and also kind of pave the way for an eventual PvP patch, which we're still sort of waiting on. PvP was initially, it was planned to be in the game, and then, before launch, Blizzard said, hey, look, we're not going to make it with this. And we still haven't heard an update on exactly what they're doing with it, aside from that is the PvP patch. So who knows? Maybe they're just making a MOBA.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not an arena mode at all anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but I do like the way that this is heading. Even they've improved things like the auction house as well. They've let now you can cancel auctions that are if they don't have a bid on them, which is really nice. You still have a 10 item limit, but when I asked them about that, they said that that's more of a database thing than a design thing necessarily. Though they do like the idea of players having to pick and choose which items they put rather than just flooding the market.
Yeah, and I mean, this patch has also brought down repair costs, so it's not quite as brutal for high-level items, which is important to me at least, just because I was really getting hammered by those costs.
You can really tell the difficulty changes, though, that have been done, because if people go back and watch commentaries Charles put up a couple months ago, in the same amount of time that we've been playing, he would have died 9 times.
That's probably true, and I'm assuming my gear probably wouldn't have been as different at that point as well. One thing that is very noticeable to me since I've started playing again after the patch, particularly when I was in Act 2, is that champion packs will not regenerate or their health or magically have their health bars refilled after you fight them and they kill you.
That's so nice.
Yeah, when you respawn, you don't have to worry about, are they going to be back at full health? Because they won't. They'll be at whatever health they were at before. So your progress against them stays permanent. And it definitely makes that a little more bearable.
Yeah, also, I mean, you can actually win a war of attrition.
Yes, so you can do it that way. Of course, you're still going to get hit with repair costs, and the repair costs are not small now. They're not negligible by any means. They're still, a full repair for me at this point is somewhere around like 30K or something like that. So it's not a small repair cost. It's not as bad as it was, and it at least gives me more of a sense that I can actually take out these enemies if I'm just able to play pretty well.
Man, it's crazy. When I watch their health bars, sometimes you can really see how much that rend is doing to them as far as the bleed effect that's going on.
Yeah, they've actually adjusted the visuals too. This rend did not look like this before. They've made it a little more obvious. Damn it! Sorry, I keep forgetting which keys my attacks are on because I just sort of reorganized this build.
Pygmy.
Come here, buddy. Don't open that portal.
Oh, you got him.
I've got
you
the
totally
stun.
got him.
Yeah, I'll throw a spear at him. There we go. I was really hoping that a legendary would just drop, so I could be like, oh my! It would be a great way to just kind of show that I'm happy about the changes that Blizzard has made to this. I mean, the system probably isn't going to please everyone because it is still the same system where you can swap around your skills and that's the design. That's how it works. So anyone hoping for a total revert to Diablo 2 style, that's not going to happen.
No, I mean, this is the game they've made and they're happy with it, but they're definitely trying to that's the thing, is it's a challenge for them. They're trying to appease a bunch of different audiences. They're trying to appease their casual players who have been having more trouble with the difficulty. I mean, just to remind you, there's over 10 million people playing this game, and then they're also trying to appease a very small minority of people who have done what Charles has done and reached Inferno and have a max level character. So the Paragon things and stuff like that are definitely a gesture and a design choice to try and give those players something to continue to feel like they're being rewarded for as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say I am nowhere close to as hardcore as they get in this game. I don't have a hardcore character right now. I don't actually like I'm not that excited about making a hardcore character because I don't like the idea of losing all of that progress. So I'm certainly very far from as hardcore as Diablo players can really get.
I think we just saw an example here that he's like the only enemy around and he stopped shielding, which is nice.
There we go. So yeah, I mean the champion packs and things like that, elite monsters, have had a bunch of affix tweaks as well, so that you don't find invulnerable enemies around anymore. Damage on fire chains was moved down, so that's not as huge as it was before. Basically, if I got caught in fire chains at any point before, I was just dead. Like I would just accept it. Like, okay, I'm dead. That's all that's going to happen. And that's not really the case anymore. Come on, rare item. Nope. Unfortunate. But yeah, you see some changes there so that it's a little more manageable. A couple affix combinations are also not possible anymore, so you can't have Jailer with Vortex. That doesn't happen anymore. So Blizzard
that was particularly brutal.
Has gone through and made some fine-tuning adjustments on how that all works. There are also a bunch of minor kind of changes to items and things like that, where like damage values on items that are almost item level 63 but not quite there do more damage now, so you don't see quite as much of a gap between the lower level stuff and I'm strictly speaking in terms of the high level, like item level 60 through 63, but yeah, you don't see as much of a difference between like item level 61 and item level 63. So that smooths out the curve a little bit more.
Also, I know that they've put in some changes to two-handed weapons, though I'm less familiar with those because as a witch doctor, I typically don't use two-handers.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't found. Oh my God, die.
Yes.
Truncheon. I still haven't found a two-hander that really has very good damage. So I don't know. Maybe that'll be the case. That'll just be something where I'll have to wait and see kind of what pops up in the game, or I guess on the auction house. Although I would really rather avoid the auction house if possible. I will point out while I was playing, I actually did get a blacksmithing plan, which I'm kind of excited about.
Is this your first one?
No, I mean I have a few others, but this is the first one in a while, so that was nice.
Also, what
I wish it was a legendary, but that's okay.
What was it that I remember you saying they added to the blacksmith? Some sort of tab that's important?
Oh, you can just repair at the blacksmith.
Oh, okay.
It's
that's nice.
It's totally
but that
minor.
totally makes sense. No, that is a logical thing. The
No.
blacksmith should be able to repair weapons.
No, it's just it's a random convenience feature. And if I hit ground stomp one more time to initiate a fight when I'm nowhere close to a monster, I am just going to quit gaming forever. I'm sorry, I keep doing that.
Well, this is just an example of muscle reflex, man. You played with the same build for so long that now it's just tough.
I did. My build was essentially locked in stone in terms of what I would. Oh my God! Get out of there! Get out of there! Run! I got frogs everywhere. Oh no, a tree!
Use a potion.
Yeah. I got Jailer. And turn around, do Rend.
Oh jeez.
See, and I've got Rend on so that I actually gain health back while that's happening. So.
That Rend effect is really nice, though. It's very obvious who's Rended at this point.
Yeah. See if I can do some. Yeah. See, that does a big damage spike when I'm able to hit it. Get out of there. See if I can Rend again. And oh God. There. Ground Stomp. Totally necessary.
Oh my God. So many health globes.
It's okay. I should. So my.
Yeah, I think you got this.
For my movement and pairing effects, I actually have the passive on. I don't remember what it's called, but that gives me a chance to get health back, which is why I'm healing when I'm getting jailed. Which is very useful. Ground Stomp, Rend, Run, maybe an Ancient Spear, pull somebody up and see if I can get some damage in.
Man, I feel like this is so much more manageable. Yeah, you're doing great, even with this.
But I mean, so some people would hate that because they're like, oh, now you're letting all the idiots make, you know, easy progress or something like that. Not idiots, but just the less dedicated, I guess you could say.
I am one of them, so I'm happy with that.
But I mean, it is more enjoyable. I feel like, you know, I don't enjoy a game when I feel like I just can't make progress. Like something like Dark Souls, for instance. I never felt like I couldn't make progress in that game. I sort of knew what I had to do. It was just kind of a matter of doing it. Whereas in Inferno, at points I just felt like I was being unpunished, not because of my skill, just strictly because of, you know, random statistical determinations or something like that. Especially when you went up against, you know, champion/rare elite packs and stuff like that that just have affixes and damage totals that make it impossible.
Of course, I mean, yeah, there's a reason that they got rid of some of them. That's like a testament to the fact that they recognized. I'm sure internally they had those conversations where they were like, all right, man, these affixes combined are just impossible.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's still the people out there who are like, no, those were the correct affixes. Inferno was fine. You never should have changed anything. But yeah, I do really like what Blizzard has done with this and would like to continue playing Diablo as much as I can, although it is a busy time. There are lots of games to play. But yeah, if you've been away from Diablo for a while, this, and particularly the Paragon levels, I mean, I don't know necessarily what that's like yet, because I'm still at 60. I haven't gone Paragon level 1 yet. So I'll try to keep leveling that up and see what kind of an effect maybe that has as I continue to gain kind of base stat. Oh my God, another champion pack. I'm gonna have to kill them.
You got level 3 Nephilim Valor bonus right now, though.
Yeah,
so
I'm doing that.
Right.
I'm waiting for that legendary to drop so I can show it off. It'll be like the perfect end cap to a video. Just be like, and by the way, here's the new legendary. I don't know if that's really gonna work though.
You're doing all right against these ones. Frozen Plague Wall, Enchanted
So
Arcane.
you can also see there, I just got healed on that again. You can see on these frozen orbs, you can actually see the AoE effect. And if you...
that is nice.
Oh yeah, the arcane orbs got nerfed too, so they don't do as much damage. But if somebody has mortar is still in, you can actually see where the mortars are going to fall. So while you're running around, you'll see little dots all over the screen showing off where the mortar... Man, that was a terrible ancient spear. So showing off where it's actually going to hit. So you aren't just running around like a crazy person being like, oh my God, I don't know what's happening, and you're just hoping that you're not bombarded by mortars.
I like that. That goes a little bit more towards making it, again, feel a little bit... We've talked in the past about how when all this crazy stuff like this is going on, it almost has like a bullet hell, a little effect to it, and that definitely even lends it more to that if you can see like the damage indicators coming in.
Yeah, and again, that's a case where they're giving you more control, so it doesn't feel like you're just being unnecessarily punished, because if you're just blindly running around trying to get away from mortar drops, you know, it doesn't feel like what you're doing necessarily has much of an effect. It's just like, wow, I hope I, you know, decide to run the right way for no reason. I'm gonna get that healing roll.
Oh man.
I should be able to do this.
No, you totally got this. I mean, you've been aggroing additional guys the whole time.
Oh my God, another plan? Are you kidding me?
Oh
This
my
is the
God.
greatest day ever. If only because that
I'd also like to-
I've never received drops like that so quickly.
You were hitting these guys so hard, their skeletons burst out of their body.
Yeah, I don't know if there's I don't remember. Oh, there's another thing. So I got quite a few rare drops here.
Yeah, actually, that's a lot. So many rare things you can't even carry them all.
I already filled up my my inventory on that run. Take that and drop something stupid. What is a low level thing here? I am going to have to go through here and look at these things to determine if they're actually good. All right, I'm going to get rid of this two-handed sword and pick up War Thresher, and that is what I'm going to run through here, and I'm going to portal back to town and just, I'm going to open up my items. I'm going to open up the presents.
You need, I mean, that's what they're there for.
This is what it's all about, is doing this, is right-clicking and watching this progress bar. And seeing if anything cool happens. So
It's
I mean,
actually not bad.
No, that's bad.
Oh, sorry.
That's not good. The
Level 6.
DPS is awful, and I mean it's under my one-hander, and it's not. I'm not dropping a shield to use that. That's just absolutely not going to
I'm not level 60, so to me that still looks good.
Yeah, the stats go way up once you do hit around 60. Crossbow, don't really care. Okay, one-handed rare axe, item level 62. This could be interesting. Hopefully it's not still too... Okay.
Wow.
All right, so it's up at 702. Not great. Unfortunately, the stats are not appropriate for my class. I do not care. I would much rather have a 216 bonus on Vitality and Strength swapped in for Dexterity, although it is socketed, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bring that in for my Rare Spear, which also has a life on hit for plus 628. So I'm gonna leave that on here. This is a level 55 Rare Mace. This is going to be crappy. Confirmed crappiness, and let's see what we got here.
61.
Could be, there's potential here for sure. So this could be a possible gear replacement. And double socketed with vitality. See, I really wish it had strength though.
Yeah, I mean those would be okay pants for a witch doctor.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. That's not. I don't think that's an immediate. I'm gonna use that type of situation. And then again, not great DPS.
But
Although
you did get some
that's
plans.
58, and I don't know if really many of these are. This I think I could sell.
Yeah,
I think I can sell
agree.
this. All I did was I went and sold some items, and basically broke down some items, and then also bought some stuff with one of my new patterns at the blacksmith. Which this one turned out to be terrible, and it was so expensive. It was like 30K.
30,000.
I mean, I have lots of materials for this stuff, so it wasn't a question of mats. It was just more of a question of gold, because I'm not rich. I have that is not a lot of money at Inferno, and that was basically because of repair costs.
Yeah.
And I bought a new weapon.
You just
on
spent
auction.
about a third of your gold blacksmithing.
I did, and I got this absolutely terrible chest piece, which I'm never going to use, and no one would ever buy. And it has, it does have a magic find bonus on it, but it's bad. Anyway, but I did get this triple socketed one, which has fire resist, which I'm fine with. It has an armor bonus, which is nice. That's actually a lot of armor. But it has int on it, which I'm not a huge fan of. However, it's triple socketed, so maybe if I did some cool, well, not some cool, if I was smart about my gem combinations and equips, I could make something kind of decent there.
You can maybe sell it too. I mean, with 3 sockets and intelligence on it.
The chest armor I have on right now, honestly, is not very good. It just has plus 188 vitality on it, which...
And 13% magic find.
Right. Which, yeah, as we explained, will by Paragon level 100 will not really matter as much. But yeah, that is a loop on that is a loot loop that we showed off there on Diablo 3 in its newly patched form. I think it's a better game because of it. I like the fact that Blizzard is paying attention to its players and willing to make all of these changes, and basically in the process be willing to say, you know what, we didn't do that as well as we thought, or this one system didn't really work out. Here's a new system. Here's how we're addressing this. And yeah, I think it shows Blizzard is committed to the product, which I like to see, because this is one of my favorite games of the year.
I think Blizzard recognizes that millions of people bought this game, and as you could read in the article that I put up with the interview with them, like they said, they're their own biggest critics, and so they're definitely always internally trying to look at if they see a skill that's being used by almost everyone, and then they think, why is that skill being used and not these other ones? If they see a skill that isn't being used, they want to address all that. They want to promote skill diversity. That's what the game set out to be at the beginning, and that is where they want to take the game going forward. This is a step in that direction, definitely not the end of what they have planned.
Yeah, so we'll keep playing, and hopefully now that 1.0.4 is out and people are playing it, we will hear something about what is happening with PvP sometime soon. Until then, for all things on Diablo, you can keep checking back with IGN.